Welcome to my channel. And like I said, I had a lot of work to do today. First, I had to get a haircut. Did my haircut look good? That looks all right. So I had to get a haircut today. And I woke up kind of late because you guys know I work nights. And had to work on my NFL picks. I had to add the games in and then post them on the internet. And then I had to make a separate sheet just to do my NFL undefeated Hall of Fame because it's extremely hard to go undefeated in a week of games. Now, before I do week 7 picks, let's just go ahead and dig into the results. I thought, let's go ahead and get this live stream off and popping, man. Today's a beautiful Tuesday. I'm off, just chilling at the house, had a drink at the house. And I want to say, first and foremost, this week was amazing for most people. Like, they did really good on their picks this week. If the Broncos would have won, 17 people would have went undefeated this week. Let me repeat that. What's up, Spider? 17 people in this Pick'em League would have went unfucking defeated this week if Denver would have beat the Raiders. But did they play the Raiders? Who did Denver play? Well, whoever Denver lost to, I don't think it was the Raiders. I'm tripping. Whoever Denver lost to, which was the Chargers. Yeah, that was the Chargers. I'm sorry. If Denver would have won, 17 people, 17 people would have been undefeated. But hey, 7 people went undefeated this week. Amazing, right? So let's go ahead and look at all the records first, right? First, we're going to give a congratulations to everybody that did well. And I had their names highlighted in red. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here are the results brought to you by Steve Rose. Corey Pollard went 14-0. I got his name highlighted in red. I want to give him a congratulations. And a lot of people went, Spider, you went 12-2. You didn't do too bad. 13-1. We had a bunch of 13-1s, 12-2s. Like I said, so if you did bad this week like I did, don't tell anyone. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time that this was the worst week to do 500. Yeah, so you had to at least get 11 or 12 wins this week to keep up with everybody. Look at that. Casey Kidd. Duke went 14-0. Steph went 13-1. See, if the Broncos would have won, Steph would have went undefeated. And look, so all the records are still good despite the fact that Denver lost to the Chargers. I mean, hey, give a shout out. Again, Corey Pollard, shout out, 14-0. Casey Kidd, Duke, 14-0. Jesse, my man's 14-0. What's good? John Alves, 14-0. The guy above you went 13-1. See, the records were damn freaking good this week, man. And like I said, if you're on Facebook, you can see all these records. I just literally post them every week. It's a little bit hard. I don't have my website page anymore because they started trying to rip me off and overcharge me for using it like I was making money off of it, even though I'm not. And they were still trying to charge me because they were accusing me of making money off the site. I just said, whatever, dude. You can have it. I don't want it anymore. I got my Facebook group page. It's free. I can post all the shit on there. I'm good. Plus, I got YouTube to promote it. So it's cool. Ronald Fallensworth, what's up? Don't know who you are, but just showing the records for the NFL picks, man. 7 people went undefeated. Give Kaufman a shout out, Nate a shout out, John Alves, Jesse 14-0, Casey Kidd, Duke, and Corey went 14-0. And look at my fucking records, 6-8. I did terrible this week. Terrible in my picks, right? So when you put the records overall, all the names in red went undefeated, so it kind of bumped you up in the standings, except for like Duke, because he's still kind of behind. But that's because his record's the division's so competitive in Division 6, man. That's the reason why. 6-8 is not looking good, dude. That's a shitty fucking record. You got to go undefeated, man. Like I said, you guys go on Facebook to catch this shit. It's kind of a little blurry or whatever on my end. I don't know if you guys can see it. If it's showing up blurry, a little bit kind of blurry. I cleaned my lens out, but you know how these phones are, man. They always like to fuck around. I used to have a camera, man, but I mean, I could still fix the camera up. It's not like that big of a deal. But these are all the records when you combine all the weeks together. And like I said, if you're on my Facebook group page, you can check all this stuff out. I just literally posted the results. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Undefeated Hall of Fame. So basically, I made a sheet here. This is the Undefeated Hall of Fame, right? The year that you went undefeated, the week, and what the number of games were, right? So, for example, John was the first person to do it in 2005. He went 14-0. DeWarren Jackson, 2005, 14-0. Since 2007, I haven't done it, 16-0 in that week. Josh, Michael Rand, Karen Martinez, who's no longer with us, rest in peace. To Karen Martinez, she passed away from cancer about 6 years ago. Never forget you. We're cool people, and I'll see you on the other side. She went 16-0 in 2008. Dustin Belt, same thing. Mr. T-Money is officially the first TTC member to go undefeated in a week. 2015, he went 16-0. J Love, Aaron, Frankie, Herbert, Sean, Reese, Roy, Pedro, Bolt, Eagles for life, Nitro, JD Court, Duke, Corey, Casey Kidd, Jesus, John Alves, Nathan Kaufman. So these 6 went undefeated, or these 7 went undefeated just this week. So since COVID hit, we've only had what? I mean, well, we had the 4 people in COVID went undefeated: Pedro, Bolt, Eagles, and Nitro. But JD Court was the last one to go undefeated in 2022. He went 15-0 in week 13. So since 2022, it's been like 2 years basically. We haven't had anybody go undefeated. From 2008 to 2015, no one went undefeated in a week. See, 2018 to 2015. So there was like a 7-year gap where no one went undefeated. It's extremely hard to do it. And oh, guess what? All these names on the list here you see, all 27 of them have only done it once. You'll never see the same name on here twice. Why? Because it's extremely hard, and maybe the football guys don't like us, but that's just unfortunately, you're only going to see the same name on here once. If one of these 27 can do it again, hey, all power to you, but it's extremely hard to do. But when you do it, you cherish it. God damn it. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the picks. I want to go ahead and do my NFL Week 7 picks. So I'm on the list now. So let's go ahead and set my phone up because I'm going to go ahead and do my picks right now. Get this shit over with, bro. That's why I got out of work tomorrow, but just a 4-hour shift. I volunteer for 4 hours on my off day. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let me zoom the camera up a little bit. Hold on. All right, can you guys see the games? Yay, nay? Yeah, I think that's about good enough right there. All right, I'm going to do my picks, man, because I just want to get them over with. Let's get them over with, shall we? And I think this is the Thursday matchup right here. Okay, I want to scroll back a little bit. Yeah, that's the Thursday game. It's the Thursday, October 17th game. You got Denver heading to the Saints. The Broncos are 3-3, a tough loss to the Chargers. The Saints, I don't know what's going on with them. They started the season off 2-0, and they've gone 0-4. So what's going on with New Orleans, man? I had them pick to win that division, and they've just – the Saints started off 2-0. They're 0-4 since. Can somebody explain to me what's going on with New Orleans? Why they look terrible? But, you know, again, it's any given Sunday, and it's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, right? That's how the NFL works. And New Orleans is at home, and I think they're desperate for a win here. I don't think they want to drop to 2-5. They've lost 4 in a row. They've got to end this losing streak. Denver, on the other hand, they're 3-3. They came off a rusty loss, but they've won 3 out of their last 4 games, right? So that's impressive. And they lost a tough game at home to the Chargers, a game I thought they would have won. But they ended up losing that game, division game, any given Sunday, right? So in that case, I'm going to go with New Orleans to defeat the Broncos on Thursday Night Football. I think they get vengeance. They want to end this streak. They've lost 4 in a row. And, I think the Saints want to come marching in with a victory at home. They don't want to let their fans down, Now, we got the 8:30 game, right? So that's the NFL Network game, right? So you got New England heading to Jacksonville. Jacksonville, I made a whole video about you this morning before I went to sleep. Remember, I got off work, and I said I feel sorry for your fan base because you got an owner that only cares about wrestling instead of your football team, which makes billions of dollars. Make no logic sense to me. But, again, I'm not your owner, right? So Patriots travel to Jacksonville. Technically, Jaguars are the home team in London, which is maybe their new destination. I don't know if that's where they're going in a couple of years. That's where the NFL's hinting around. Are they going to move Jacksonville to London? I mean, it's a very good question. For some reason, NFL loves the idea of having Jacksonville in London. I think Jacksonville deserves to have the Jaguars there. I mean, they've been a franchise since '96. I don't see why not. In that case, Two teams are 1-5. The Patriots are not the Patriots under the Belichick Brady era, but this is a rebuilding area with their new head coach and this and that. So they got a whole new staff, right? So just like Roman Empire fell, the Patriot Empire fell. They've been dominant for 20 years. I think it's time to let someone else win, right? I think that's what Brady's wife told his kid, right? When she was like, "Why do we lose the Eagles? Oh, we have to let them win sometimes," or some shit like that. Nonetheless, this game go either way, right? Both teams are, let's just say they're a clusterfuck. But which one is the less two evil? I'm going to go with Jacksonville to win in London against the Patriots. This game going to be shitty anyway. It's going to be Drake May versus what? Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to go ahead and go with Jacksonville to win at home. Give me the Jaguars, all right? I'm going to write that down, Jacksonville. So I got the Saints at home over the Broncos. I got Jacksonville over the Patriots. Now let's go to the noon games. The next one, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Now, this game go either way. All right. Seattle just lost a tough game to the New York Football Giants. They started the season off, I think, 3-0. They've lost 3 in a row. So they're on a 3-game losing skid. And the Atlanta Falcons, they seem to found their mojo. And Cousins has completely turned that Falcons franchise around, at least so far in the first 6 games. Can he stay healthy? Can he maintain that momentum is yet to be determined. I like Atlanta at home. I like the Falcons at home. I think they play well in the Dome. The Falcons got like a prolific style offense. They got receivers, tight ends. I like that Kyle Pitts guy they got. He's real good. They got that running back from Texas and Bijan Robinson, who's real good. And I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins is not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he's a game managing quarterback. He's a guy that's going to get you some wins. And so, with that being said, go ahead and give me Atlanta to defeat the Seattle Seahawks at home. So give me the Falcons at home. Let's see the next one. All right, we got our next matchup here. It's Tennessee at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills won on Monday night and played like it was their Super Bowl game against the Jets, which pretty much was. They were already 3-0. They lost 2 in a row, and they had to find some way to turn that around. 2 losses against the Ravens and Texans, and finally they played their asses off, and they beat the New York Jets, right? So they won that game against Aaron Rodgers and their new head coach after they fired their other one. Tennessee Titans, I don't know what's going on with them, but they're 1-4. Their only win was against the Dolphins on Monday night, which they completely kicked the living shit out of them weeks back. But other than that, the Titans have been just god-awful this year too. And they're in the AFC South. They're like dead at the fucking bottom. We personally don't have to worry about the Titans or the fucking Jaguars at all, like catching up to us. But nonetheless, Tennessee, I feel sorry for you. I think you're going to get blown out just like Jacksonville did. Remember when Jacksonville got blown out on Monday night to Buffalo? You're about to get your asses kicked too. Sorry to say it, but it just is what it is. You have to call for what you see. The Bills are turning it around right now. They use that win in New York to get the win over the Jets. This was their Super Bowl game. The Bills knew they had to turn it around, and they did it. They got it done. They got the job done, and I think now Josh Allen's going to play with fucking anger and charisma behind him, and he's going to take it out on you guys. Take you to woodshed. He's going to take it out he's going to take it out on you guys. You're going to be his personal punching bag this week. So go ahead and give me the Buffalo Bills to defeat the Tennessee Titans at home. Whoa, talk about clusterfuck game of the week. Tank Bowl of the week. You got the Bengals traveling to Cleveland, take on the Browns. Wow. I mean, what do I have to say? The Bengals are 2-4, and they struggled in a win against the Giants. The Browns have just been struggling all fucking season. Is DeSexual Watson going to be off the team and they're going to bench him? Are they going to put in Jameis Winston? What's going on in Cleveland? You got to figure, and this is just my opinion about the Browns, Jimmy Haslam, being the criminal mastermind that he is, you would assume that he would know how to get out of the Deshaun Watson or DeSexual Watson contract. But DeSexual Watson was actually smart because what he did was he had the contract locked in to where you have to guarantee pay him $92 million for June 1st, or you have to pay him like 80-something million after you cut him again. So he's going to walk out with $170-something million in that deal out of the 250. So Watson fleeced the organization. The Texans were able to get rid of that guy, thank God, and they dumped all their draft picks on us, which basically made us a winner, which I'll give Moohead his credit for because he said, without the Cleveland Browns fuck up, the Texans wouldn't be the organization they were right now. Absolutely. I agree with that, Moohead. You're absolutely right. And we give credit to you for that because Jimmy Haslam turned us into a winner while simultaneously making Cleveland still the losers they are, which, no offense, you have to be honest, not the fans, but the team and the organization. You know, it is what it is, right? But nonetheless, you guys are also playing an organization that's also kind of terrible at the moment right now, the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 2-4 and they're struggling. Now, it would appear that Deshaun Watson's going to do bad, but let me tell you why I think the Browns can win this game. Because Deshaun Watson is still, as a quarterback, 9-8 in his 17 starts as a Cleveland Brown. And I think Deshaun Watson, if he was to win a game, it would be against the Bengals, a team that because the Browns actually match up really well against the Bengals. Like there's a rivalry right there. There's the Browns, whenever they play Cincinnati, they play with a lot more confidence, even during the worst years. I think if Deshaun Watson was to improve this week, this would be the week I think he'll do it. Because I'm going to tell you why. If they lose to the Bengals this week and Deshaun has a QBR rating of under 10 like he has recently, they're possibly going to call for him to be benched after 1-6. Like they would have to probably most likely put in Winston. So I think Deshaun's going to ball his ass off in this game. I'm not saying they'll blow the Bengals out, but I think they can actually beat the Bengals 27-17. Go ahead and give me the Cleveland Browns to upset the Bengals since I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to pick the Bengals. So I'm going to pick the Browns. All right, the Houston Texans travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers. This is going to be pretty much almost game of the week. I would still say that Detroit at Minnesota's game of the week, which I'm about to come to that pick in a little bit here, but the Texans at the Packers, this is going to be a very good game. You're talking about C.J. Stroud taking on you got C.J. Stroud taking on Love. I'm sorry, I was reading Ethan Carter's message to Bond. He said, you got to think the Bengals have to win. I think overthinking it, but definitely could be right. Yeah. Green Bay is beating us. You know what, man? This game go either way. I like Green Bay style of play. They got a very good fucking offense, dude. And their defense is actually not that bad either. And they've beaten us before in Green Bay. The Texans are 5-1, and though I'm glad we're sitting in that that driver's seat, right? Hey, look, 5-1, we could go 6-1. This is the best Houston Texans head start since 2011. Was it? Is it 2011? I think this is our best start since 2011. I think if I'm correct, if somebody correct me, I might be wrong, but I think 2011 was the last time we've done this good. We started the season out 5-1. So with that being said, this could, I'll put it to you like this. This is a game that I think the Texans can win because we have the defense capabilities. We have offensive weapons. We can get in the end zone. We're overloaded on the running back position. And our defense, we actually do have a pass rush, believe it or not. And the pass rush is starting to come around a lot more. So, like I said, I think, however, Green Bay is at home. The weather's going to be fair. It's not going to be cold or anything like that. So that's sort of the advantage that we do have. Thank God they didn't schedule this in Green Bay in like late November or December because this would probably be snowing and they would have the upper advantage. So that's why I say the score is probably going to be in the 20s or the 30s between both teams. But, yeah, it's a toss-up, Ethan Carter. Yeah, absolutely. It is a toss-up. But I'm going to go ahead and go with Green Bay just because even though I know that the Texans are the winner or it would appear to bet on the Texans, and me being a Texans fan, yeah, of course I want to win all my fucking games, but sometimes you got to figure there's got to be a loss or something coming around. And I think the Texans have had just, it's kind of too good to be true moments. And just like when we went to Minnesota and they kicked the living shit out of us, you got to figure there's got to be another week like that coming, or if not, maybe a close game we're going to lose is sort of kind of humble us back to earth. I'm going to go ahead and go with Green Bay to win this game. I think that Love is, he's kind of caught on to his stride. The Packers are 4-2. They started off a little slow, but they are at home. And I just think that the Packers fans are going to get behind them, and I got I got the Packers to win at home. All right, so let me write that down. I'm gonna pick them, man. I went 6-8, the worst fucking week to do it, right? Because you got 7 people went 13-0. Unbelievable. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Miami at Indianapolis. Wow, Colts. You're 3-3 for the year, but you got Flacco, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I like Flacco, and he looks impressive for being 40. By the way, might I add, he looks impressive for being 40 years old. The Vikings are 5-0, right? So that's. I mean, not the Vikings. I'm tripping. I meant the Colts are 3-3. I'm sorry. I actually looked further. My bad. My eyes are all fucking up for tonight. But yeah, the Colts are 3-3. They're taking on the Miami Dolphins. Who the fuck is starting for Miami now if Tua's out? And what's the status on Tua's future as a quarterback or even in the NFL because of his concussion, CTE and all that? Do you think it's possible that maybe Tua maybe have to retire? I mean, I like the kid, and again, I know. Oh, Anthony Richardson's still starting. I thought that they brought in Flacco. I thought didn't Flacco play last week? If I'm correct, I thought he did. The funny thing is Flacco wanted to stay with the Browns, but the Browns wouldn't let him. I don't know why. Maybe they're pissed off because he used to play for the Ravens. I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility, But I don't know who's starting at Miami. I don't know what the fuck the Miami Dolphins are going to do with Tua. They've spent a ton of money on that defense, bringing in receivers, and it just doesn't amount up to anything. Like last year, they were supposed to win their division, then they barely make the playoffs at the 7th seed the very last week of losing their division. And I don't know what the future holds for the Miami Dolphins, but I will say that even though both these teams are sort of don't have an identity, I think the Colts win at home on this one. So I'm going to take Indianapolis to get the win here because I still think all around the Colts got a really good team, man. And they're battling it out for the division with us, and they're still going to try to hang on. So I'm going to take the Colts to win this game over the Dolphins. So give me the Colts on that one. Let's go to the next one. Wait, my bad. I'm tripping. Hold on. Hold on. Colts. All right, we got Detroit at Minnesota. This is probably game of the week here. At least that's what I marked on mine. Game of the week. This is a division of the NFC North. The Lions are 4-1. Vikings are 5-0. Vikings just came off a bye. And let me put it to you like this: they're promoting the Lions right now in the NFL, like especially with Dan Campbell. They got him kind of like Stone Cold Steve Austin gimmick. I think it's kind of cool. Detroit for a long time has been like sort of the NFL's punching bag, rigging games against them. And I understand that. In Minnesota, with Sam Darnold, who the fuck would have thought they'd be 5-0 at this point? Like, I would have, if you would have said that Sam Darnold, a journeyman quarterback that I thought should have already been out of the league by now, is just balling out of control with the Minnesota Vikings. This is damn well going to be a good game. You'd have to be a fool not to say it's not. It's going to go back and forth. May even come down to the final drive. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go with Detroit to win. I like the Detroit Lions, man, especially that statement game. They come into Dallas, they kick the living shit out of them, and Dan Campbell's revenge for that screw job they got last year in Dallas. And Dan Campbell busted that CM Punk promo and shit. I think that was just like they are lighting a fire under their ass, man, and they're going to come out with a lot of wins out of this. And go ahead and give me Detroit to go in Minnesota and get the win. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see who's next. Wait, God, come on, man. You got the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. The Giants lost a rusty Sunday Night Football game against the Bengals, right? And they got the Philadelphia Eagles, who had just came off a bye, and then they barely beat the Cleveland Browns. And now they go to New York. Now, this could be a trap game. Of course, it's a division game. Any game's a trap game, but I like the Eagles. I like the momentum they have. The Giants are still the Giants, and I just think with Daniel Jones, his career is not going to. I think after this year, they're going to have to question what they're going to have to do after that because I don't know if they gave him an extension. I think he's on the last year of his rookie contract, if I'm correct. I don't know what the Giants were thinking of drafting him as the sixth overall pick that year, but he looks like shit, man. He looks terrible. I just have to be honest with you. He looks no different than like let me try to name a quarterback we got in the league, like a Davis Mills or something, or some shit like that. Like it's how the fuck did he get drafted at the sixth pick? I don't know. I don't get how that happened, but go ahead and give me Philly to go in New York and kick their living asses. And I got the Eagles to stomp a mud hole in the Giants' asses. So give me Philadelphia. Oh, he signed a huge contract. Are you serious? Oh man, that fucking sucks. So wait a minute. So this year is his sixth year, right? So that's the last year of his rookie deal. Did they give him an extension? If they did, oh my God, that's going to set that franchise back for a long time. But I'm going to give the Philadelphia Eagles. I like their offense. I like the what's that guy they got? Smith, and they got their quarterback. Man, they got Saquon Barkley too. Oh my God, yeah, the Philadelphia Eagles are gonna fucking blow them out, dude. Yeah, I call it Saquon Barkley's revenge. He's gonna get revenge on them football Giants, man. Giants fans, oh man, I'm telling you, you're in trouble, man. You're in trouble. All right, let's go to the next game. Raiders at the Rams. You know what, man? I feel sorry for the Raiders. They're just like Jacksonville. Same thing. Shitty fucking ownership, shitty fucking front office, a shitty fucking general manager, and just incompetent coaching. You got Adams over there requesting a trade, which is possibly a top 5 receiver in the league. You don't have a quarterback to throw him the fucking ball. You get Gardner Minshew. Now, I admit that he's a pretty good game managing backup quarterback, but he's not doing too well in a Raiders uniform. And then you got O'Connell or whatever his name is, and that guy sucks. And it's just like, who's going to throw him the fucking ball? So he has no quarterback to throw a top 5 receiver the goddamn ball. Not to mention you have no running game, and your defense is terrible. It's just, and then the coaching, it's a clusterfuck with the Raiders. And, again, you move to Vegas, you get that big ass Death Star Stadium, they call it, and you guys just give up Death Star results. You guys are a complete clusterfuck, just like the Jaguars, just like the Browns. Sorry if you're a Raiders fan watching. I have to call it like I see it, man. It is what it is. But you guys are also traveling the LA Rams. The Rams are struggling this year as well. They're 1-4, and they're coming off a bye. They still got Stafford, which he's not too bad. They still got a decent defense. They got some receivers as well. Both teams, are not probably going to make the playoffs, but which team is the less two evils? Go ahead and give me the LA Rams to win at home in SoFi Stadium and get that dub over the Raiders. Give me the Rams. Got the LA Rams. Plus, they're coming off a bye, too, so I'm going to go with the Rams. Fuck it. Let's see what's next. We got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the Commanders. The Commanders are 4-2 now. They lost last week. They were in a hard fight battle against the Ravens. It looked impressive up until the last drive. The Ravens ended up walking out with the win. That was one of my 7 wins this week, or 6 wins or whatever. God damn, I did terrible this week. So the Commanders are 4-2. They changed ownership. They changed coaching staff. Seems like to me they turned it around. And they're 4-2, and they're mighty impressive. They're possibly the best team in the NFC East. But, we stopped the pen and waiting for the Eagles. The Carolina Panthers are 1-5. They drafted the quarterback, Bryce Young, that I personally wanted in the draft. I didn't want C.J. Stroud. And, boy, am I eating my words now because he has been completely trash. And they brought back in Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, another game-managing quarterback at this point in his career. I don't understand you don't have too many options at the quarterback position, so I get why, they're going with Dalton, because it's like, well, they don't have anybody else to fucking put in. Who else are you going to put in a quarterback? So I'll go ahead and go with the Commanders to win at home. I mean, they got the momentum. They're 4-2. Why not go 5-2? The Panthers are what, 1-5, so they go 1-6. Jesus, Lord of mercy. Now let's go to the next game. A rematch of two Super Bowls. Kansas City's traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. This is going to bring up the last year's Super Bowl. Is this going to be Kyle Shanahan's revenge? Do they want to stop the undefeated Chiefs who had just came off a bye week? They're traveling to San Fran. This gives like now this game is possibly going to be a very damn good game. And I think it's going to give like those Super Bowl vibes, and 49ers are going to play like they're going to want to beat the Chiefs, right? And the Chiefs are coming in undefeated. 1, 2, 3, yeah, left undefeated on the field, and they're coming off their bye. They still got Kelsey. They still got, Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the league currently, I have to admit. And that high-powered Chiefs offense. Plus, let's be honest, they got kind of the refs helping them too. Just got to be honest. So that's going to be a very hard combination right there, to compete against. I'm not saying the Niners can't win this game because it's very possible they can. But I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs and play it safe. Think Kansas City, coming off the bye. They're still the team to beat. I still got them winning the Super Bowl this year and being the first team ever in NFL history to three-peat. I know that's not going to sit well with too many people watching this video, but I just have to be honest, man. I'm just calling it like I see it. Plus, they got the refs helping them, so you can't beat that combination there. I'm going to go ahead and go with Kansas City to go 6-0 and defeat the 49ers. Let's see what's next. Sunday Night Football. New York Jets at Pittsburgh. Now, the Steelers got, that Fields guy from Chicago. And Fields seems like he's kind of getting it together. You know who Justin Fields kind of reminds me of in Pittsburgh? Now, for any of you Steelers fans, who is that short little quarterback that used to play for y'all in the 90s? You know what I'm talking about? The short black guy? I can't think of his name. His name's not ringing a bell, but he gives me vibes of that guy. In fact, okay, who was that quarterback? Cordell Stewart. That's it. It's Cordell Stewart. He gives me vibes of Cordell Stewart. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm not going to say that they don't play down their competition because that's all Mike Tomlin, but if the Steelers play to win, I'm telling you right now, the Steelers should be able to beat the Jets. The Jets are they're completely overrated. Mike Williams is injury prone. I like Lazard. He used to play for Iowa State. My Longhorns used to play him, so I know that kid well. His fast legs. He's young. But other than that, man, the Jets, they don't really have any weapons or anything like that. Plus, Aaron Rodgers doesn't look as good as he used to. And I think he's kind of like at that point now where maybe he's contemplating retirement, man. I could see Aaron Rodgers possibly, this might be his last year. And it's nothing personal. Hey, look, the game's passed you by. It's no big deal. Just go ahead and, retire, man. You have nothing else to play for. You did win a championship. I know you might see, okay, well, maybe I can win one with the Jets, kind of like what Brett Favre tried to do. But I don't know, man. I actually didn't play for the Bears, but one season I forgot about that, actually. Oh, I didn't know Cordell Stewart played for the – but I didn't know that. I know he played for the Steelers for most of his career. I like Cordell Stewart. Wasn't he the one that did that college Stanford band or whatever that passed? I think he played for Colorado. I think that's where what college he went to. But it's on like one of the top 5 like plays of all time. But yeah, anywho, I got Justin Fields and the Steelers to win this game, bro. Give me Pittsburgh. So I got Pittsburgh to win on Sunday night. They'll go to 5-2. And Jets will drop to what, 2-5? Now I don't know what the NFL, like, why they're doing this. This shit's dumb as hell. But it looks like to me they got 2 Monday Night Football games. Again, this is the 3rd time. Why are we doing this? What do we need 2 NFL Monday Night Football games for? I could barely stomach 1, and now you got 2? Come on, man. But anyways, nonetheless, we got the first one. It's at 7:15. and it's going to be on Monday, and it's going to be Baltimore traveling to Tampa Bay. Now, this is going to be a really good game. This is going to be a damn good game. Baker Mayfield versus Lamar Jackson. You know, both of these guys are really good quarterbacks. And the Ravens got a solid defense. Buccaneers also got a solid defense. I think both of their teams' defenses are top 10 defense in the NFL. And, the Buccaneers are at home, so they're going to be playing very well. They've had recent hurricanes that hit over there and whatnot. And, you know, I think over, 400 people lost their life from both previous storms, if you include Helen and what's the other one? Milton, that recently hit up there too with extreme amounts of flooding and stuff, landslides. And it wasn't just in Florida, it was in several states with Helen. I think it was 4 or 5 different states. But yeah, it's unfortunate, man. But Tampa Bay is that they are at home. They're going to be playing pretty well. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go with Baltimore to win at home, win on the road. I got them going in Tampa Bay, winning on the road. So give me the Ravens. And last game we got, it's Chargers at the Cardinals. God, what a shitty fucking game. Why do they put all these shitty games on primetime, man? But nonetheless, Chargers travel to Arizona. This also is going to be a very good game. It can go either way. It's kind of, it's kind of like one of those games. It's kind of like a coin flip. The Chargers started the season off 2-0. They've lost 2 in a row, but they got a big win in Denver. It's in that statement game in Denver. But again, this is a tough one here. I flip back and forth on this one, right? Because, I like Kyler Murray. Don't get me wrong. He went to OU. I'm a Longhorns fan, but, we've played against. I like Kyler Murray. He's a good guy, but, he's just kind of too short at the line. It's hard to see over the receivers, over the offensive line to get to his receivers. He's been struggling with that, but he's very fucking fast, man. Very mobile, a very mobile quarterback as well, but he can run when he needs to. So this is a game that really can go back and forth. This is a Monday Night Football game. So this is a tough one. And I picked Arizona. Then I switched to the Chargers, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm probably going to kick myself in the ass for this one, but I am going to go ahead and switch back to my original pick. I'm going to go with Arizona to win at home against the Chargers. What else you want me to say? I like the new head coach in the LA Chargers. I like the fact that they got rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, who were accumulating, $30 million on the payroll, and got rid of those guys. They got rid of Austin Eckler. And the only thing I would say that the Chargers need to do is they need to get receivers, like, an offensive line that's going to block for Herbert so you can get the ball to those guys. But other than that, you like Arizona a lot there. James Conner did shitty the past games. Yeah, I like James Conner, man. He's pretty good too. Kid's fast. But didn't he tear his ACL or something like that? If I'm correct, it might have been a year ago. I think he might have torn his ACL. But yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona to win this one. So I'm just gonna I'm not gonna go over my picks in slow motion. I'm just gonna say who I picked, and that's it. I got Saints to beat the Broncos Thursday. I got London game shitfest. Give me the Jaguars over the Patriots. Falcons at home to defeat the Seahawks. Bills over the Titans. This game could go either way. I just picked the Browns. Fuck it. I think Deshaun Watson will, have a good game. He is 9-8 as a starter, technically, for the Browns, even though his quarterback passer rating this year is terrible. I got Green Bay to upset Houston. I got the Colts over the Dolphins. I got Detroit to go in Minnesota and beat the Vikings. I got Eagles to win in the Meadowlands, or MetLife Stadium, I think is what they call it. I got the Rams to beat the Raiders. I got Commanders over the Panthers. Let's see. Chiefs over the Niners. Steelers at home to beat the Jets. That's the Sunday night football game. And then he did? Yeah. That's why he's not as fast anymore. And then for Monday night, I got Ravens over Tampa. And last but not least, I got Arizona over the Chargers. And those are my picks for the week, for week 7. Like I said, I went 6-8 on my picks, man. 108 people. I was one of the worst ones this week. And a week where 7 people went undefeated. Ain't that a bitch? And if Denver would have won, 17 people would have went undefeated. And look, I got all the years where everybody went undefeated, the number of games, the week, and the year. So I haven't went undefeated in a long time, but at all these 27 names, no one has ever done it twice. It's extremely hard going undefeated in a week. I've had some weeks where I came close, one loss or two losses, but I've never gone 14 and 0 or 13 and 0 or 15 and 0 or 16 and 0 since 2007. That's a long time. I'm just being honest. I was real little at the time. That was the last time I went undefeated. Like I said, I watched football since I was like 5, dude. 4. No, since I was like 4 or 5 years old. So by the time I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, I was already like doing like picks and shit like that from like other people that were like my dad's friends that had like little leagues that he had set up, and I was already doing picks and just handing them in. By the time I owned my laptop, I was able to set up Microsoft Excel, which that's where you see it now. I was able to take over another guy's pick'em league that he gave me and said, "Hey, you want to run this shit?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead and give it to me." So he gave me the reins to his little fantasy league that he did, but I tweaked it up a little bit more. I added a point system. I added divisions. I added a better playoff format. I actually put everything on computer. I set up I had a website, and then not only that, but I put up a Facebook group page. He never did any of that. He was real old school. He just put the names on paper and had your cell phone number, and he would just call you every week, get your picks, collect, and then you would have to basically like mail a fucking he would mail you the results every week or whatever. That's the only way you got the picks. So it was, I mean, but he was real old school and stuff. You know, technology catches up with everybody. So now, you know, everything's on the internet now. So now, yeah, that access. I got a Facebook group page. I got multiple different leagues that I do. I don't just do NFL football, but NFL football is the only one I do on YouTube. That's the only one I promote. The other one's college football, baseball, basketball, whatever, all that's specifically on Facebook. So that's all I do is just promote that specifically on the group page and all that for people that are on there. So like I said, NFL, you know, I do that on YouTube because I have 108 people this year, which is really low compared to previous years. I usually earn the 130s. But, you know, since people are struggling now and stuff, they're kind of like, I don't want to do it. I got, you know, and I understand, you know, that shit happens. You know, people, you know, are sort of like down and out about the economy and stuff. So I get that. But you know, I still got to have a show running, and even if I only had 90 or 80 people next year, I mean, that's still a lot to me. So how do I do it 70 hours a week, working 70, 75 hours a week, and still managing to run these leagues? Well, let's just put it like this: you got to get everything done in the small window of time that you have. Like if I'm off today, which today I am, then I do all the results, and when I'm at work, I have a lot of downtime at night. So I grade all the picks at night and get my what they call the rough draft ready. So that way when I go on computer to type it up, it just takes like 2-3 hours to do all that. So I do that, and then I post it on Tuesday when my off day hits. So on Tuesday, I finalize everything after the Monday Night Football game, and then I post the results, get the video visual like you see right now, get that ready, and then tomorrow when I wake up, I got to start collecting all Thursday's pick. And then Friday, I send all the Sunday's games out and then collect on Friday and Saturday, do the results, rinse and repeat every week. And then for college football, I got to send those games out Thursday, collect them by Friday night, and then grade by Saturday, have it presented by Saturday night or Sunday morning. And there's rinse and repeat, just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's all about repetition, man. If you keep up with your repetition, you'll be fine. You know, it could be done. It's just when you fall behind weeks by weeks, you're not going to want to do it. You're gonna be like, nah, fuck it. I ain't running this shit. You know, it's a lot of responsibility to do this, but you know, it's fun. It's fun for me. It keeps my brain fresh, and you know, so it gives me a task when I'm at work or when I'm not at work. So that's sort of how I look at it. You know, a lot of people say, Sam, 70 hours a week. How do you do it? I went undefeated in 2016. I won't lie. They used to ask me, how did you get your picks? Philly, 3 against the Giants and Gift Barkley, his old team. I'm slamming Philly spread this week. Damn. Yeah, see, I went undefeated in 2007. So that's how long it's been since went undefeated. It's extremely hard. All the names on here, you see them. They went undefeated. It says the week, what the games were in that week, 14, 15, 16, 13. And this week we had, since COVID, we only had we had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 4 people in 2020 go undefeated week 2, week 7, and week 17. And then since 2020, we've only had it done once. In 2022, week 13, Josh Denoncourt went 15-0 in week 13. And then since then, we haven't had anyone. So 2 years has been kind of like dead in the water. And then all of a sudden, boom, this week, 7 people went undefeated, went 14-0. And the crazy thing was, if Denver would have beaten the Chargers, then instead of 7 people would have went undefeated, it would have been 16 people would have went undefeated this week. So that means instead of it being 27 people went undefeated in the NFL Undefeated Hall of Fame since the league started, it would have been 36. But because Denver lost to the Chargers, that ruined it for 10 additional people's names that could have been added to that list. So it's unfortunate, but, that's just the luck of the draw. But 7 people went undefeated this week. So now, out of all these names, how many of them went undefeated and then went on to win the tournament champions? Well, I can tell you. Me, my brother, let me look. That's 2. J-Love won 2. That's 3. Eagles fan for life won the year the Eagles won. That's 4. Duke, Josh, Casey Kidd, Jesus, Elvis, Nate. That's it. Only 4 out of the 27 that went undefeated went on to win the tournament champions. So only 4 people can proudly say. That means out of all the tournament champions winners of all the years, that means only 4 of them went undefeated in a week and also won the whole thing. So that's even rare. The odds of that, so that's 4 out of 23 years. Well, pinned in the 23rd season, still ongoing, so it's 4 out of 22 technically. So 4 out of 22 have gone undefeated and have won a championship. So that means 27 times it's been done, but only 4 times has it been done where they've won it. So that's even 4 for 22, 4 for 27. The odds are not, it's just extremely hard to do one or the other. It's extremely hard. And I'll tell you what, no one's ever went undefeated in a week 2 times. It's extremely fucking hard to do. It sounds easy because you're like, 16 games, I'll get all of them right. Shit, you'll be lucky if you can get at least 15 out of 16. Like, I'll be happy to do that. It's kind of like the going undefeated in NFL season. Like the Dolphins had the 71 undefeated season, undefeated, and like no other team's done it. Patriots could have done it in 2007 until they lost the Super Bowl. It's like extremely hard to go undefeated, man. It's just extremely hard. Now you're going to ask the biggest question is, what are the most games won in a season? Well, in the NFL in 2021 added an extra week. So they added the 17th game, so it made it an 18-week season. So it went from 256 to, let me do the math. Okay, it went from 256 to 272, all right? And that's a 18-game schedule, 17-game schedule, and an 18-week season. Prior to that, when it was 256 in a 16-game spread, 17-week season, 16 games, the best records were 184 and 182. And only that's been done twice. So no, it's very hard to get 180. So 182 wins and 184 is the current record before the extra week was added. Now you add the extra week. In 2020, I think it was Ciesielczky. I can't pronounce his name. It's Ciesielczky. That's how I spell it. He went 190 wins with the extra week added. So 190 is the best record out of 272. So that means he lost 82 games. So it's 190 and 82 is the best. Will there ever be a 200-game winner? Probably not anytime soon. You'd have to do really good on your picks to do that. And considering the fact that we've fucked up the last 3 weeks on our picks and done terrible, we'll be lucky to break 180. It wouldn't shock me if the records are going to be around 185, 184. Possibly the top records will be 180. I'm thinking 183, 184. And that's with the extra week games added. That's with another 16 games added to the original one. So even with the extra games, it still won't get to the 190s. It could happen extremely. I mean, it's possible, but not this season. I don't think it's going to happen this year. Maybe next year, because there's just a lot of upsets this week. In the last 3 weeks, it's been terrible on the picks. Everyone's been doing 500. I mean, the best record right now is, let's see. In 6 weeks, the best record right now is, I think, 62. No, 63 and 29. Well, it's 63, right? Yeah. Okay, so 63 and 29 is currently number one in the league. That's the most wins and least amount of losses. So that's, how many games is that? That's 2, carry the 1, that's 8. Okay, so 92 picks have already been made, right? So if 190 and 82 is the record, that means 190 minus 63 is what? That's 8, carry that's 10, 7, 2, 1. Yeah, you still got to win 127 games. Yeah, because 60, that's one. Yeah, so you got to win 127 games to get to the tie the record. And you've already been through almost half the season already. That's going to be hard to do. Because you're going to have to win a shit. You're going to have to get lucky and probably go 14-2 for the next 4 or 5 weeks just to have a chance. That's going to be extremely hard to do. The odds of that are probably not going to happen. You probably 180, 184 probably be the record this year. That's not too bad. Well, like I said, next year, maybe. Will we ever see a 200-game winner? The only way that'll happen is if they add that extra week, which I heard the NFL is talking about doing that. They're going to add an 18-game schedule eventually because 17 games is an odd number. So you got 9 games and 8 games, and then every year alternates. So you do 9 home, 8 road, 9 road, 8 home, and it alternates. So I think eventually the NFL is going to want to go to an 18-game season. It's already going to happen. But when is it going to happen? I think it's going to happen probably next couple of years. You're going to look at an 18-game season, 9 home, 9 road. That's what they're going to do. That's what I predict they're going to do. So if you add the extra, 16 games to that, that'll bring the total season total up to 286 games. Is it possible you can win 200 out of that? Probably, maybe not, but it'll be close. Like you'll see some 190s, maybe 193, 194, 195, somewhere around there. It'll be close. Like about 195 wins, 194. You'll definitely see the 190s now, the 190s club with that extra games. But we'll see. Oh, you went undefeated in 2016. It's hard. It's hard going undefeated. Like I said, I did it once. Many moons ago. So I've never done it again. But I'm going to try to get at least another one. And will it happen is yet to be determined. We'll see. All right, I'm sitting here doing my goddamn math here. Using an old pen and paper to write this shit down because I don't have a calculator on me. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right. So, yeah. Like I said, my record right now is 49 and 43. I'll be lucky if I maybe 160, 165. And that's because I did bad this year. I went for so many upsets and I completely screwed it up. I'm dead last in my division. I did shitty this fucking week. There was a guy that went 14-0 in my fucking division and just completely fucking pulled ahead of me. I don't even think I have a chance of catching him. Realistically. But I'm going to still try to fight for a wild card spot. So, like I said, there's still plenty of time to do that. So let me go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go ahead and start shutting everything down because I pretty much finished everything. Got my picks in, got all the results out, and I finished with that. So that clears that up. Let's go ahead and shut this shit down. Speaking of which, I need to get a new computer. I might get a gaming computer next. All right, guys. Well, I'm heading on out. I did my picks for week 7. And I'll get the results probably Sunday night. Well, I'm saying probably Monday or Tuesday. And I'll see y'all then. Bye.